Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Nikki and this is Messy Mamaholic. Today's video, what I'm gonna do is a mommy tag, just kind of like a bunch of questions. I think it's 20. Yeah, 20 questions so you can kind of get to know me, and it's basically it. How old were you when you had your first child? Well, I was 24. Yeah, 24 when I got pregnant, and then like I turned 25 like a month later after he was born. So 24. What's the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? Like, really? You're gonna ask that question? There's about 752 things that are difficult about being pregnant. I was constantly uncomfortable. I was working as a retail manager at the time. And I was like 8 months pregnant for Black Friday. Like 8 months, very close to being 9 months pregnant on Black Friday. So I was like, I was a nightmare. I felt so bad for my team, but we got through it. It's fine. But I would say the hardest part for me was definitely being uncomfortable so often and not being able, like, a lot of doctors would be like, sit down for 20 minutes and put your feet up, or, turn the lights off and put on some relaxing music and be nice and calm. Well, if you're at work, you can't just, stop working and go put your feet up. So it was really difficult for me to balance like staying healthy and also work and just being comfortable and just kind of transitioning from being able to run around the store doing 700 things by myself to really having to rely on my team. And I don't know, that was really difficult for me. Can you think of any good things you enjoyed during 9 months? Yes, there were a lot. Although there are a lot of bad things about being pregnant, there are twice as many good things about being pregnant. It still blows my mind that this tiny itty bitty ball of cells that was like smaller than this turned into a human, like an actual living, breathing, soon to be talking, running, screaming, snot filled human. Like, it's incredible to me. So just kind of feeling all those little flutters and all of his kicks and seeing him move, like, that was just, it made it all worth it. In your opinion, were the things that you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? My childbirth, I feel like, was a whole different scenario on its own. I might do a video on that later because it's a story, but I'm gonna have to say that it wasn't accurate at all. There was one piece of advice that I got, and I'm gonna say that was like a gift from the gods. My cousin Katie told me, as soon as you start feeling contractions, like as soon as you get to the hospital, if you start feeling contractions, you ask for that epidural until they give you that epidural. If you're doing an epidural. Nothing wrong against getting an epidural. Nothing wrong against natural labor. It's all labor. We all did it. It's fine. But for me, I know myself. I like cry for days if I get a paper cut, and I freak out if there's like a itty tiny ounce of blood on me. So for me to really be able to enjoy and be more present and be more aware of the childbirth experience, I needed that epidural ASAP Rocky, and I got it, and everything was fine. It was fantastic. I loved it. Loved that anesthesiologist. So that was accurate. That was definitely accurate. I still felt contractions, and there were times where I wouldn't say that it wore off, but you could kind of tell that it was kind of getting to the end of its length, but I had this beautiful button and just pressed that sucker. Would you handle childbirth differently if you could redo it? Yes. There are just a couple of things that I would probably redo. One, I would probably not have anyone in the room. And I say that, okay, we ended up having my mother-in-law in the room, my aunt was in the room, and then we had a lot of visitors end up coming into the room and staying for a little bit, which was totally fine. It was awesome to have like all that support and to see everybody so excited to meet Raiden. It was amazing. But I think if we could redo it, I would probably have set a time. Like, I wouldn't have told everybody right when we got there. I would have let Jake and I kind of get there, get settled in, relax for a little bit, you know, kind of get a better understanding of what's going on, meet our doctor, like you just kind of get settled in. And then once I started progressing, then I would start telling people what was going on, because I ended up getting induced, and we went in at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we told everyone we're on our way to the hospital like right now. And I feel like people ended up getting there like 10ish, maybe like a little bit before that, and stayed the entire time. And Raiden wasn't born until 2:30 the next morning. I know a lot of our visitors ended up leaving like around like 5 or 6 o'clock, because they're like, all right, come on now, we gotta go. But I think it was too much all at once, and it wasn't really that big of a room, so I think I would have changed that. I also, again, this is all going to be, if I end up doing a birth story, I'll go into it in more detail, but I probably would have waited on the induction. I know my doctor and I, there was a lot of miscommunication within that last like 2 weeks, but I know my doctor and I had talked about, she did not want me to go past 40 weeks because of the size of Raiden. And in the end, I'm so torn, because in the end, the way that it worked out was the way that it had to work out. No matter what would have happened, if I would have waited till my water broke, if I would have been induced, anything along those lines, I 99% would have had an emergency C-section. But I missed that whole breaking of the water. Oh my God, it's time. Where are the bags? Let's pack the car up. Oh my God, we're freaking out. We're having a baby. Like, we didn't really get to have that moment. And I kind of regret that. But, you know, it is what it is. Woo, okay. What advice would you give to anyone who's about to have a baby? Sleep. I can't even really give that advice because I don't do it myself. But before your baby comes, sleep. Like, all day, because you are never going to sleep again. Just throwing that out there. But also, this is like the biggest piece of advice that I need to live by myself. No one on this planet knows how to raise a child. Like, there is no rule book. There's no like book that you can go to the library that says step number 1, step number 2. Like, there's advice, there's opinions, there's people who have tried certain things and were successful in them, but in the end, there is no one person that knows how to raise a child. So do what you do best, use your mother intuition, and do what you need to do for you and your family. Who cares what anyone else says? If mom, grandma, friend from Facebook, old high school teacher, random lady in the supermarket all tell you that you need to be doing something, but you feel like you don't need to be doing that, don't do it. Like, that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with during our first year, was that I was like, I need to be doing this, and I'm not doing that. but it doesn't work if I do it. Why is it not working? I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I'm gonna be like mom shamed. This is horrible. What is happening in my life? But in the end, my son is happy. He's healthy. He loves me and Jake. That's all that matters. That's all. That's it. What's the hardest thing about being a mom? Being a mom? Like, what? I did not make these questions up, people. These questions I found, literally I typed in mom tag questions, YouTube, and this is what I found. But what's the hardest thing about being a mom? I'm gonna have to say the hardest thing is probably the unknown. Like, your baby's crying. You don't really know if he's hungry or if he is like hurt about something or if he's just crying because he knows how to cry now. Like, and then they can't talk, so when they're sick, you don't know exactly what's wrong, or like, it's just the unknown. And then getting into it further, like thinking about like years from now, like I have no idea what's gonna happen, and that like terrifies me, but also kind of pisses me off. Like, I want to know what's going to happen. I need to know that my son is gonna be okay. I need to know that when I leave this earth, he's like set. Like, everything is fine. Tell me, someone tell me. Like, that is so hard for me. What's the most rewarding thing about being a mom? His laugh. That's such a Hallmark answer, but it's true. Like, there will be times where I am so stressed out and like there's dishes piled up in the sink, there's mess everywhere, laundry is like out of control. I don't know which way is up anymore, and I will look down at him and just be like, Raiden, oh my God. And he will just start this adorable, humongous belly laugh, and everything is okay. So I know it's super cheesy, but it's super true. So, what's the most surprising thing you've discovered? These questions, dude. I should have read these questions before I started this video. I don't know. Skip? Next? Next. Actually, no. The most surprising thing is how okay you are with another person's bodily fluids. I like find it extremely disgusting when like a dog licks me, or to hear other people like chew, like, ugh, your spit is ugh. But I don't even know if I should like say this in public, but I have had a little bit of poop in my mouth, not on purpose. I've had chewed up food in my mouth. I've had snot, slobber, blood, everything on this person, and it's fine. It's literally fine. Vomit, did I say that? Yeah, it's all fine. What's the best memory you have involving your child? God. Oh my God. I don't even know. There's so many, but if I had to just pick one, like super quick, it'd probably be the first time that he ever did a belly laugh, and I had it on camera. Thank you, Snapchat. And it got deleted somehow because Snapchat is crap. But it's fine. I'm not bitter about it. Like, all of the pictures and videos that we had from like a week after he was born until maybe like 4 months old, gone. Completely gone. But it's fine. I'm not upset about it. I'm not bitter about it. I don't hate Snapchat. So, what's the most exciting milestone when he first learned to walk? It was a complete shock, a complete surprise. Jake, he was standing up, and Jake patted him on the butt, like, you know, and he took 4 steps like it was nothing. And then he sat down and he didn't do it again for like a couple of days. But then he just stood up and he started walking. And as his mom, and I'm sure for Jake as his dad, like, you have been crawling like this whole time. It was a struggle for you to like learn how to pull yourself up and to get your legs and your arms to like work together to crawl, and now you are literally walking. Like, something that we take for granted, something that's so easy for us, was so difficult for this tiny itty bitty human. And now he's just like, one day he just mastered it, and it was like it's nothing, and now he's literally running. So that was definitely the most exciting. What was the worst thing your child has done? I don't really know. Like, he hasn't really done anything that's like, oh, yet. Not that I can think of. Okay. What habit do you wish your child didn't have? He screams. He's at this stage where he doesn't talk. He babbles a lot, but he's like still trying to communicate. And he gets really frustrated, so he just screams. Like, he's just like, ah, like, while pointing to something. And I know it's gonna pass. I know it's like probably super normal for babies to do, but at the same time, it's like, don't yell at me. I'm doing the best I can. Stop yelling at me. What's one habit you're proud of? He's a fruit addict. Like, oh my God, this kid loves his fruit. And I'm so happy and I'm so excited about that, because I feel like a lot of people have trouble with their kids eating fruits and vegetables, but this kid, no. Like, I don't really have trouble getting him to eat anything. Like, he eats like his dad. He loves food. I love food. We all love food. We're a food family, and that's fine. But when it comes to fruit with this kid, you better give him his fruit, or World War 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 are coming. So there you go. But I love that. Eat all the fruit you want. Eat it up. Do you have any similarities, physical or personality, with your child? Yes, he's my tiny twin. Like, he is a perfect blend, like, physically between Jake and myself. He has my hair, my curly hair, but it's lighter. It's like brown instead of black. He has my eye color. Like, from here up, he has Jake's forehead, Jake's little cheekbones, and then the rest down, he has my mouth. And it's so cute. And my ears. But personality-wise, he is straight up Nikki, and it's hilarious. He talks constantly, well, babbles constantly, just constantly. There's like, I feel like once he learns how to talk, he's never gonna stop. He is very independent. He does not want help with certain things, and if you try to help him, he flips. And I'm very much like that. I hate getting help. I love to do things on my own, but then I also hate doing things on my own, but I do it anyway. I'm a mess. I'm just a mess. Anyways, he's a little weirdo. He loves doing weird little things. He has weird little mannerisms, and it's me. It's literally me. He'll do something, and Jake will be like, "That's your child." I'm like, yeah. Yes, it is. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? What kind of question is that? I don't know. He's going to be 10, so in school, doing a sport, being his own little tiny person. I don't know. Do what you want to do, Raiden. You be you, boo-boo. Fly. What is something having a child has taught you? Patience. Patience, 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 and that not everything is perfect, nor will it ever be perfect. I still struggle with that. I'm a lazy perfectionist. I love things to be perfect and in order and slightly OCD, but when they're not and it gets too hard to, like, I have to like put in a lot of work to get it to be perfect, I just break down instead of like putting in the work to like make things nice and organized and perfect like how I want it. I just freak out. So what was the question? Oh, what is something having a child taught you? I'm learning, still learning, working very hard to let that shiznat go. Did you imagine you'd be a mom at the age you became a mom? Yes and no. Yes, when I was younger, I totally wanted to have a kid when I was like in my early 20s, so that when they were older, like in their 20s, I wouldn't be like 75 years old and I could still, like, you know, have like an empty nesters lifestyle living to my fullest. But when I was in my early 20s, I still felt like I was like 15 years old. So yes and no. It's like I still sometimes feel like I'm not an adult. I'm 26 years old and I'm like, I'm not an adult. Don't call me lady. Don't call me ma'am. I'm not a ma'am. I'm a child. But you know what? Okay, we are almost done. Let's see here. Describe your child in one sentence. Really? Okay. Raiden is a adventurous, weird, independent, amazing little boy. Is that it? Is that good? Is that a sentence? I don't know. I failed English in all grades. How have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? I haven't. I don't think I really have. I still curse like a sailor. This is how I've changed. This is how I've changed. I, no, no, that hasn't changed. I haven't. I don't think I have. I think I'm still growing and I'm still trying to transition into motherhood, because the transition, I went from being a full-time student, a full-time retail manager, working my way up the corporate ladder, if you would, and having complete freedom, financial freedom. Well, I use that term very lightly, but I had a job, so I had my own money, and I had friends that I could literally call up and be like, hey, let's meet at Applebee's. We're gonna eat some endless apps and drink all the margaritas. And now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm no longer a student. I don't have my own job, so I don't have my own money. And majority of my friends have kind of very difficult transition going from who I was before I was a mom to who I am after being a mom. But I would say my personality, like my lifestyle, has changed drastically, and that goes for everybody who becomes a parent, literally everybody. But personality wise, I don't think I've changed that much. I'm still a strange little girl. All right, that's it. That's all the questions that I have. If you stayed through to the end, bless your little heart. Leave a comment down below with like a little emoji or something, like a heart or a baby or a donut. I love donuts. Leave a donut. Leave a donut down below if you stayed till the end. If you didn't, then thanks for trying. I appreciate it. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I really want a donut. I really want a donut. Okay, I'm gonna jump off here now because I don't know what life is anymore. So, if you like this video, definitely hit the thumbs up. If you want to check out more videos, definitely go back to my channel and check those out. Hit the subscribe button so you can see some more videos in this space, and hit the bell if you want to be notified.